Hello, welcome to Teaching Tuesday. I'm Heather McGee. This week's project is celebrating fall. And this is kind of a cool thing. You can turn the back paper plate and you can make your leaf turn color. Because you know it's that most wonderful time of the year when the leaves turn color. And now we're going to go back to green. Let's get started. Today, you will need 2 paper plates. These are just the white, inexpensive ones that you can get. I have a handful of markers. The yellow, orange, red, green, and brown. Those are good fall colors. I have 1 pony bead and 1/4 of a pipe cleaner. A pair of scissors, a pencil, and most importantly, some leaves. Now I went outside into my yard and I picked up some leaves. I have a little oak leaf. I have a maple leaf. It's flat because I stuck it in the book to press it flat. And a ginkgo leaf. I'm going to use these to decorate, and I'm going to cut around one of the leaves on our project today. Are you ready to get started? All right, let's go. The first thing you need to do is take 1 plate and put it down with the bumpy side up. Now on this plate, I'm going to take my pencil and we're going to divide it real lightly into quarters. They're not exact, but they're pretty close. Each one of these quarters I'm going to color with a fall color. I think I'll start with the green because that's what most of the leaves are right now. Now your plate will dent in. That's all right. We'll flip it back out when we're done. You can use a crayon, markers. If you're working on a good surface, make sure that you put down a newspaper to keep your table safe. I've got my little cutting mat down. So that's protecting my table here. And this is just kind of scribbly. See that? Some areas are darker than others. And that's all right. You just need a section that's green for the leaves and what they look like right now. I see my plate's all bumped out. Do you see that? That's all right. We'll fix it when we're done. In the next quarter, I'm going to do yellow. Because as leaves turn color, many, many, many turn yellow. Actually, the ginkgo leaf that I have that I'm using for one of my patterns today, they turn a beautiful, beautiful color of yellow in the fall. They don't turn orange or red, just plain yellow, and they're glorious. After yellow, some of your leaves will turn orange. Yes, they will. Not all of them, but some of them will turn orange. Oak leaves turn an orangey color, kind of an orange brownish. Maple leaves often will turn an orange color. I think my marker is running out of ink. What do you think? It looks a little pale right now. Now, if you can actually use paint on this too. You just need to make sure you wait long enough for it to dry before you put your other plate on top of it. And then the last one I have is red. Some leaves will turn a beautiful, beautiful deep red color. Some are very bright. There's one plant called a burning bush, and its leaves turn almost the same color as this marker. There we go. So each one of my sections here, it's in quarters, there are 4 of them, is a different color. Now, my plate is upside down, so I'm going to push it from the other side. See that? I'm pushing it in to pop it back up the right direction again. See? There we go. I'm just kind of poke around the outside and make sure it's all popped up. See that? Each quarter is a different color. The orange and the red look pretty close, but like I said, my markers are running out of ink. All right, let's go to the next step. I'm going to set this aside, just over here, to let it dry a little bit. Now you need your second plate, and your pencil, and your leaves. Now I'm going to put some leaves on here, and I'm going to trace around them, just because I think they're really cool. Now you're going to be able, you can cut all of these out if you want to, or you can just cut out one of them. Let me show you what we're going to do. So I'm going to start out with this maple leaf right here. You may need help with this, and so if you need a parent or a bigger person to help you out, it's okay. So I'm going to flatten the plate out a little bit, and I'm going to trace around this leaf the best I can. Now, I have to tell you, leaves are not usually flat, and as they start to dry out, they get very curly. This one is only flat because I stuck it in a book to let it dry. I'll put a little stem on it right there. See that? I've squished the plate, but you can see where it's been traced. Let's see. I think I'll put a ginkgo leaf over here. Just because I think lots of leaves are pretty. Now the first one I did, I only had one leaf on it. It looked kind of empty. See how I'm kind of having to hold this down a little bit because it's curly. So little by little, go around it. It's not exact, and I don't need it to be exact. There's another one, and I think I'll put the oak leaf over here. I just went out into my yard and I found some leaves. Now there's some really big leaves outside. Giant oak leaves and maple leaves, some from the sycamore, cottonwood, but they're too big for my plate. So I picked some smaller leaves. They still belong to some of those families. They're just small leaves. There we go. See that? Now I have to show you. On the one that I finished, I wrote it's fall on it. I don't know that I'm going to do that on this one. We'll find out. If I had a great big leaf here, we could do it, but it would be all different colors at the same time. The smaller leaf really does fit in each one of these sections. See this? It fits in each of the quarters that you've colored, so it can turn all of one color. However you do that is just fine. There's no right or wrong way. Now, the trickiest part we have here is cutting out one of these leaves. Now, I'm going to cut out the maple leaf, this one. The easiest way for me to do this, I have my scissors. I'm carefully going to poke a hole right in the middle of that leaf. You see that? You may need some help on this one. It's tricky to cut out. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to cut to the edge, almost to the edge, of each one of those little points that sticks out from the leaf. So I've got lots and lots of little cuts in my plate. You see that? Lots of little cuts. There we go. See all those little cuts in there? Now instead of trying to get my scissors around the whole way and make all those little turns, now I can cut off little bits at a time, which I think is easier when you're cutting into a plain surface. There we go. There's a little piece. I cut a little bit over top of that one. And then once you can get the back of your scissors in there, it's easier once you get going. Cut that little piece off. You have a piece chunked out here. Now when I'm cutting this, see how I'm turning the plate and not the scissors? We've worked on this a lot of times. You try to keep your wrist with the scissors pointed straight ahead. if you start moving your wrist around this way, it's very uncomfortable and it's hard to cut. So we're going to try and keep the scissors with the point pointed away from us and move the paper instead of the scissors. Now they're moving a little bit, but still the point not pointing back towards me, that's pointing away, and you can keep your wrists straight that way. I'm going to cut out just this little corner here because I like it that way. There we go. See that? Now we've got one leaf cut out. I'm only going to cut out one leaf. The other ones, I think I'll color in. I think I'm going to make the ginkgo leaf a nice yellow color. I didn't cut out the stem either because I don't really need to. It's so little that it's hard to cut out. There we go. Ginkgo leaf. And I think I'm going to make the oak leaf green because that's what color it is right now. It hasn't turned color yet. It's got some little points on it. This is from a red oak tree. For a white oak tree, they wouldn't be quite so pointy. They would be curvier. Just cut the lobes on a leaf. There we go. See that? It's not even filled in the whole way. Just an idea to make it a little bit green. And I'm making my lines this way because if you look at a leaf, there's a vein. You see the vein that goes right down the middle here? And I tried to make it go down the middle of my leaf too. And there's some little ones that go off to the sides. So I'm trying to stay the same direction as the veins were. In a ginkgo leaf, see the ginkgo leaf here? They all go dunk, 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 out away from that center of the stem. Pop it back up again because it's probably squished through. Now go ahead and take your plate that you've colored. We're going to stack the plates right on top of each other. And about in the middle, you can just eyeball it and kind of figure out where the middle is here. I'm going to put a little circle because with a pencil, I'm going to poke right through those plates. You can use scissors, you can use a needle, whatever it is that works well for you. Here's a seam ripper. You can poke that through because we're going to hook these two plates together. Now, take your little piece of pipe cleaner. This is 1/4 of a pipe cleaner. Oh dear, where's my bead? Did I lose it? Where did it go? I may have to find another one. All right, here we go. I've got a bead. See that? It's a red bead. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, put it right through the middle of the bead. Now I'm going to bend everything in half so the bead just sticks up like that. See that? Take the ends of your pipe cleaner, put them through to the bottom of the plate, and then stretch them open like that. Now that bead in the middle will hold your plates together, keep your pipe cleaner from going through, so you can turn the top plate and the bottom plate around each other. You see that? If you would like to write on your plate, you are welcome to. I put "It's fall." You could put autumn. That's a great word. Another word for fall. It's A-U-T-U-M-N. And then pop the plate back up. And I'll say, oh, I don't want 2 green leaves on here. What happens when you turn? See that? Now your leaves are turning yellow. And if you keep turning, it turns orange and then red. You've got all sorts of different colors that you can change. And if you have maple trees outside your house, many of them will turn orange and red. And you could just change this depending on what color they are. Most of ours are still green, but they're moving into that yellow section with a little bit of orange just starting to peek through. I hope you've had fun, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye.